Which 3 people would you like to take to dinner?
If I had any 3 people for dinner, that's also really tough because I'd always say my family, but I'd probably say this little kid here. Yep, and there. Dino, and probably even Lauren and Jess and their family and stuff. Everyone here, really.
Now, I suppose...
But otherwise, I'd say Bruce Lee, because he's a ninja and stuff and he's got cool moves. I'd also say Tony Robbins, just because he's a motivational speaker and he's got some good thoughts and he's taught me a lot. And Steven Spielberg, just because he's a director, and I'd love to see how the 3 of them would interact.
Question 13, Jules from Australia would like to know, if you could star in any movie in the whole wide world, which would it be and why?
If I could star in any sort of movie, it would have to be an action flick or a drama or just a comedy, even art house stuff. But I'd like to do them all at some stage, yeah.
Okay, Kathy from the UK would like to know, who do you admire and who are your idols?
I admire people that I see in the street and kids and the animals, and I admire everyone in their own way. Yeah, that's who I admire. My parents for putting up with me and raising me, that's pretty hard. My brother and sister, everyone really that came in contact with me in their existence. Good on you.
Marty from Melbourne would like to know, now that you've done It Takes Two, would you ever consider being in a band?
I'd love to be in a band, Marnie, I would, but I need about 8 hours of practice for about 5 years. I think it's possible, but I don't have 8 hours a day spare, and I don't have 5 years spare. But music is definitely something that I'm going to learn more of as I get older and get lessons and educate myself, because it's a great outlet. I love it.
Hillary from Ireland would like to know, just wondering if you have any Irish blood running through you, because that is one heck of an Irish name you've got, and can you do the accent?
Hillary, yes, Irish. It is somewhere in the family, definitely. Or Brian, you know what I'm saying? But as far as an accent, no, not really. I just kind of talk like this. I don't know, I think it's more Scottish. You just talk really, really quickly. Someone told me that, you just talk like this. It's like you're Scottish. But Irish is, hello Brian, yeah. I don't know what you guys say. Yeah, thanks a million. No, that's not, I think it's north. I don't know. But I try a few different accents, and American, but Irish, yeah. Northern Irish, someone told me. My Northern Irish is, yeah, to be sure. It's not bad, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, lass, like that. That's about it. Bit of American.
Who would you totally be starstruck by?
It's funny, I think you still get starstruck all the time in this industry. And it just comes down to, you might have seen a show they just recently did, or they were extremely funny, or they did an emotional scene. The last time I was starstruck was probably Chris Lilly. I was kind of like, I just watched Winged Heroes and I thought that was cool. And I saw him met him through Jason Smith. And I was kind of like, hey, he's good. But yeah, constantly, I think it's just, it depends how you know the person, really.
Here's an interesting question from Hillary in Perth. She would like to know now, in the 3 years that you've been working on Home and Away, what has been the most memorable moment for you?
Most memorable moment in Home and Away for me is probably when Jack Peters' pants. I don't know if you remember that, but he was in a wheelchair and he was busting for the toilet, and he didn't want his parents' help. He didn't want Tony's help or his brothers or anyone, so he decided he was going to get into the wheelchair himself, and he did this big lunge, and then when he hit the ground he wet himself. And that's the most memorable because everyone was just laughing so hard. The art department guy had a tube running up my leg and coming out the top of my pants, where he would push water through a syringe as I fell off the bed, except there was a little gap and the tube stuck out, and this water just went and just did this. So I fell and went, oh, and it came late, and the camera's on there, and then it just did this big arc. You don't need to show them my arciness, but it was impressive. It was very funny. So that's definitely one of the most memorable. But there's lots of memorable moments. just when you do a good scene or an emotional one where you're crying and it feels somewhat real. That's always, it's always nice.
And last but not least, question from Dean from Sydney. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I see myself travelling a lot, but I guess still in Australia. Australia's always going to be home, surfing. But I've got a really dry bit of skin on my lip just there. I've done this whole interview with it. I know that there's people going to be watching this going, damn, that piece of skin, I just want to... it's winter though, you know. You get dry lips, got to keep moisturised. In a few years' time, I hope to just be travelling a lot and living in Australia and all over the world and doing films and being able to choose, maybe to have some little kids getting 10 years. Yep. Got some other various questions here I'm going to attempt to answer in one breath. No, not really. I'll break it down a little. You lived in Sydney for a few years. Do you have a place you like to go? This is one of the places. I live in Manly, so going for a surf or when I'm not at work, it's lovely to hang out in Manly and go for a snorkel or a bike ride or just anything that's outdoors and active is quite rewarding. Or going to the gym actually is quite a nice meditational kind of place. Latest news on Panto this year is I got offered Robin Hood in Salisbury, but at this stage I'm thinking I probably won't go just because the money isn't really there and it's a long way to travel, not really to get paid much. It's probably nice for me to have a holiday for once and stay in Australia where it is summertime and it is warm, and I know it's slack, but there's the idea of lying on the beach and surfing is nice compared to doing 2 Panto shows a day and being in the freezing cold winter. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love England.